All right, so how does it feel to be hours away from your very first show?
It's really crazy. It's all been very serendipitous. I recorded the album back in October and I released it in March, and now here it is the first week of May, and I'm doing my first show opening for one of the Backstreet Boys, who I grew up listening to. So it's really crazy. It's very flattering and kind of mind blowing.
Now, how did you end up being an opener for AJ?
I was very fortunate in that my album that I gave away for free on my website became really viral on the internet. It started getting a lot of buzz, and because of that buzz, his manager asked if I would open. So it's all happened very organically and grassroots, which is really cool.
And now you have a 25-minute set, right?
Yeah, I got almost a half an hour.
So how did you decide which songs you're going to perform in that 25 minutes?
It was really tough. It was really tough because I love every single song on the album, and I'd love to be able to perform each of them. But I kind of knew the big ones that I had to perform, and then I also made some selections on, what would show off dancing, what would show off singing, what would, there's a combination there that I had to kind of balance out.
Okay, and how did you get RJ to choreograph?
I worked with RJ Durrell, who's a really incredible choreographer. He works on all the big Britney and Madonna tours, and he's one of the biggest names in pop choreography. I started working with him in the Nickelodeon movie that I did, Spectacular. So he choreographed that movie, and we've been talking about working together once I started up my music in full force, ever since I shot the movie 2 years ago. So that's how he came on board.
Very cool. So your first album has been downloaded a gazillion times. Why do you think it's gone so viral?
Well, I hope that people just like listening to smart pop music. I like to make music that is danceable and evokes thought at the same time. So I really hope that people kind of latched onto it because of that. Sorry, there's drums right now. They're getting ready to do AJ's sound check, and I think the drummer just sat down and is going crazy with it. So you have to forgive me.
That's okay. So how do you feel about Adam Lambert coming to your show?
Yeah, I have several really incredible people coming tonight. I have there's so many songwriters and record labels and music publishers and artists that I look up to and respect who are coming, Adam being one of them. And I'm really excited. It's really flattering that so many people are taking such an interest in what I'm doing that they would even want to come see me. So it's really flattering.
Okay, and now obviously Popstar was an earlier supporter of yours, and now you have the GaGa and Britney fans really championing you. So can you talk a little bit about who has been particularly helpful as far as getting your career going?
Well, like you said, the Britney and the GaGa fans, they've been really intrinsic to everything that I'm doing right now because they latched onto the music so early on and really spread it all over the internet and everything like that. What's up?
Oh, when you're done, come down.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. So that's, I think, kind of what's been, really fueling everything, and I'm really honored because they have such strong fan bases, so it's really cool.
And why were you inspired by 8-bit graphics and music for your album?
Well, it was the music, and everything that I was going for with the album started off, being inspired by science fiction and fantasy, and once I found these 8-bit music samples, it kind of tied everything in together, and it gave me a musical way to express all of those themes.
Okay. And now, are any of your songs about real people? And if so, do they know?
Yes and no and yes. I actually don't know for sure if the people who I've written songs. I think there's 4 songs on the album that are actually written about real people, and I don't know whether or not they know. I kind of braced myself for that one because the songs that are written about people are actually kind of angry. So I don't know if they'd actually want to know that it was written about them.
And who are some artists that you'd love to write for, produce, or even duet with?
I really like to push my boundaries, and there's a multitude of people that I would really love to work with. I mean, of course, there's the obvious ones because I'm so pop, like Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, those ones who've really influenced me in what I do now. But there's also people that I'd love to work with in production capacity, like, more obscure people like The Knife, and, there's a producer named Thomas Troelsen who is the lead singer of a Danish group called Private, and these are people that I idolize and I want to work with so bad. So it's just, it runs the gamut.
Okay, and ultimately, what's your career goal?
Ultimate career goal is to be doing exactly what I'm doing now, just on a big, grander scale. I want to be, doing world tours and releasing albums all over the world and all that good stuff.
And what song are you most excited about performing live?
I don't know. Honestly, it's gonna be such a blur. It's a sequential 25-minute set, and it's all there, and it's gonna be such a blur. I really couldn't say. I'm really proud of all the choreography. I'm really proud of everything that we've done in the limited amount of time and resources that we've had. So it should be cool. The whole thing should be cool. I'm excited to perform 8-Bit Heart because it's one where I'm just standing there singing. So that I think that might be cool.
And have you been to shows at the Roxy before?
Yeah, I'm actually really thrilled because the first show I ever attended at the Roxy was one of my musical idols, Darren Hayes, and he emailed me last night to let me know that he's coming tonight. He's in LA working on his new album, and he's coming. So it's really kind of serendipitous. I'm really excited for that.